let's talk about something you might have noticed in the toilet, but, just kind of brushed off. I'm talking about persistent foam in your urine. Now, especially if you're over 60, it's easy to just dismiss it. But what if that foam isn't just weird? What if it's a quiet, but really crucial signal your body is sending about your kidneys?
It's a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's pretty important. Because taking a moment to notice what's in the toilet bowl could be the very first step in taking control of your health. It's one of the earliest signs that your kidneys might be under stress, and honestly, most of us don't even know we should be looking for it.
So how in the world do you decode this signal? Let's break down the difference between just harmless bubbles and a real warning sign so you know exactly what to look for. Okay, let's get specific, because not all bubbles are created equal. Over on the left, you've got the harmless kind. They're big, airy, and poof, they're gone in seconds. That's usually just from a fast stream, no big deal. But it's the stuff on the right we're talking about today, those tiny, dense bubbles that stick around for minutes, almost looking like someone squirted soap in there. That persistence is the key.
This persistent foam actually has a medical name, proteinuria, and it's a big clue about what's happening on the inside. So imagine your kidneys have about 1 million tiny little filters. When they're healthy, they do an amazing job of keeping vital stuff like protein in your blood. But if those filters get damaged, they start to leak, letting protein escape into your urine. And when that protein hits the air, you get that stubborn foam.
So, knowing what the foam is brings us to the really big question. Why does it matter so much? Well, it's because kidney disease doesn't just show up one day out of the blue. It's this gradual, silent decline, which is exactly why catching these early signs is so incredibly important.
And the scale of this problem is, well, it's staggering. According to the National Kidney Foundation, millions of adults are walking around with chronic kidney disease, and a huge chunk of them have absolutely no idea. It's a silent condition because the really obvious symptoms, they often don't show up until significant damage has already been done.
So let's just look at how this happens. In stages 1 and 2, your kidneys are still working at over 60%. You probably feel totally normal. Maybe you see some foam every now and then or get some mild ankle swelling you just blame on getting older. It's usually not until stage 3 that things like fatigue and that persistent foam become way more obvious. And that's often when people finally get diagnosed. Our goal is to take action long before you ever get there.
And right here, this is the single most important message of this whole explainer. This is not a story about an inevitable decline. It's a story about opportunity. Because this process is gradual, you have a window of time to intervene. Those early stages can be slowed down and sometimes quite a bit with the right actions. This is where hope, this is where control comes back into the picture.
So, where do we start? Well, how about with some simple yet powerful solutions right from your own kitchen? Let's dig into 4 specific fruits that can offer some really gentle but effective support for your kidneys. First up is pineapple, and it's so much more than just a sweet tropical treat. It turns out it has some pretty unique properties that are especially helpful when it comes to supporting your kidney health. So pineapple's secret weapon is this enzyme called bromelain. Remember those million tiny filters we talked about? Well, one of the things that can really damage them over time is chronic inflammation. Bromelain is a natural anti-inflammatory that helps calm all that down, easing the burden on your kidneys. Plus, it's lower in potassium than a lot of other tropical fruits, which makes it a really smart choice. Next, we've got a fruit that's simple, affordable, and you can get it literally everywhere. You've heard that old saying, an apple a day, and when it comes to kidney health, there's actually some real science behind it.
The magic in apples comes from a soluble fiber called pectin. I want you to think of pectin as a little sponge that moves through your digestive system. It actually binds to waste products and toxins and helps carry them out of your body before they even become a problem for your kidneys. This directly reduces the filtering workload your kidneys have to deal with every single day.
All right, let's move on to our third fruit, grapes. And specifically, we're talking about the red and purple ones. These little guys contain some incredibly powerful compounds that help protect your entire vascular system.
The star player in grapes is resveratrol, an antioxidant that's found mostly in the skin. Now, your kidneys rely on a huge network of tiny blood vessels to do their job. Resveratrol helps protect these delicate vessels from damage and inflammation, which improves circulation and makes sure your kidneys get all the oxygen and nutrients they need to work properly.
And for our final fruit, we have what I like to call the guardian of the urinary tract, blueberries. They're tiny, but wow, they pack one of the most powerful antioxidant punches you can find.
Blueberries have this really fascinating 2-part benefit. First, Their antioxidants, called anthocyanins, fight inflammation directly in the kidneys. But second, and this is so cool, they also have compounds that make it harder for bacteria to latch onto the walls of your urinary tract. This can help reduce the risk of UTIs, which, if they're not dealt with, can actually travel up and cause serious kidney problems.
Okay, these fruits are fantastic, but protecting your kidneys isn't just about what you eat. It's about what you do day in and day out. So let's talk about the daily habits that build a really strong foundation for your long-term kidney health.
This slide basically lays out a simple but really powerful plan. Sip water throughout the day, don't just chug it all at once. Cut back on sodium to ease the pressure on your kidneys. Avoid toxins like too much alcohol and smoking. Make sure you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep so your body can repair itself. And just aim for about 30 minutes of gentle movement each day. These 5 habits, they're your core defense system.
We've covered the signs, the stages, the foods, and the habits. Now, let's bring it all home and put it together into an action plan that you can start using, well, today. This is all about empowering you with the knowledge to make a real, lasting difference.
So, let's just recap your action plan. First, just observe. Pay attention to your urine. Second, nourish. Start adding fruits like pineapple, apples, grapes, and blueberries into your diet. Third, build a habit. Pick just one of those 5 golden rules and make it part of your daily routine. And finally, and this is the most important step of all, if you have any concerns, just talk to your doctor. A simple test can give you so much peace of mind.
And of course, it is absolutely crucial to remember that this explainer is for educational and awareness purposes only. It is not, and never should be, a substitute for professional medical advice. Please always talk with your healthcare provider for any personal diagnosis and treatment. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't about making some huge, overwhelming changes all at once. It's about the incredible power of one small, consistent step. The choice you make today can literally ripple forward, protecting these vital organs for years, even decades to come.
So I'll just leave you with this question. It's not about everything you could do. It's about the one single thing you will do. Is it adding a handful of blueberries to your breakfast? Going for a 20-minute walk? Or maybe just taking 10 seconds to observe? What is the one single change you're going to make tomorrow morning?